For someone who doesn't want motorcycles, a convertible is like the perfect balance between a coupe and a motorcycle. So it's definitely that appealing to older people or people who aren't even into cars, because it's just a cool car. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a huge favor, go down and subscribe before we get started into today's video. As you guys know, or may know, or can see, I own a 1990 and a Mazda Miata, one of the most popular cars, especially over these last couple of years. And today I wanted to talk about, why does everyone want one? Why would you ever want a slow two-door convertible car? Well, hopefully I can answer that question in today's video. But if you're interested in the Miata build, make sure you guys check it out on my channel. It's going to get a whole interior restoration currently, then we're going to do suspension stuff and all of the good stuff. But why does everyone want this car? Why did I even buy this car? It's slow, it's old, it's two doors, unpractical, all of these things. Well, one of the biggest reasons why everyone wants them is the demographic size, right? So the demographic for these cars is just anyone and everyone who would want to buy a sports car. In the 90s, a lot of older people bought these cars. It's kind of like a midlife crisis car. Instead of buying Corvettes, they bought these things, parked them, and now some of those examples are finally being sold. So we're seeing a really high spike in terms of low mileage cars coming up, because again, these cars are old and most of them have been driven, started rusting, and have issues, and over 100,000 miles. And then these old guys didn't drive them at all. They put 10,000, 5,000, 20,000 miles, and now everyone kind of wants those cars because it's like a brand new Miata almost. Also, high schoolers, it's a very easy car to get into, so a lot of people in that age range want to get into them, and also a lot of people who are fully grown adults want to get into them because of what they are. So what is the Miata? Well, the first place to start off would be the price. This thing is very affordable, making it very easy to access for even high schoolers. Over the last couple years, we've seen a spike in these cars, and the whole market, to be honest with you, the whole market for cheap sports cars kind of got ruined. These cars doubled or tripled overnight in some cases. So it's a little harder to get them, but it's still very affordable. These cars are still well under $10,000. And for a two-door sports car, I mean, it seems like a pretty good deal. But a couple of years ago, these cars used to be under $5,000 for nice examples, and in some cases only like $1,000 to $2,000, making it very easy for a high schooler to be able to go and work and afford the car. And for a high schooler who's into cars or just wants a cool car and is on a budget like everyone else in high school, they're very easily accessible. So that's another reason why people wanted them and everyone wanted them. Along with that, these cars make really good back road warriors. These cars are very lightweight and they handle themselves really well around corners because there's literally no weight to them. They might be slow and only have 100 horsepower, but the weight makes up for it. These cars are incredibly light and it makes for such a fun driving experience, plus their 50-50 weight distribution. The Miata on top of that is also very raw. There's no computers telling you that you're losing control. There's nothing telling the car that it shouldn't be doing this or it shouldn't be doing that. And it just is you and the car with some minor modern day things like lights. It has an airbag, but probably doesn't work anyways. So it's very much you in the car, and that also includes safety stuff that it doesn't have. So it's just such a fun thing, and being so cheap, fun, and on top of that reliable and easy to fix. If something goes wrong and you're a high schooler or an adult, you can go buy the parts that you need for the car, come home, open it up, see what's wrong with it, diagnose what's wrong with it, and in most cases, be able to fix the car and get it back onto the road without having to take it to a mechanic or the dealership. So that also was a huge thing in terms of cheap, reliable, and fun to drive. I mean, it's not fast by any means, but it is fun to drive, which definitely makes this car like wanted by a lot of people. Plus, on top of that, it has flip-up lights, and just look at it. It's such a fun, quirky vehicle. I mean, a lot of people love them. I love driving it. I always have a big smile on my face whenever I drive it. My daily is 4 times as much horsepower as this car has, but it's just a fun car that you can throw around, and I feel like if something does break, I can easily fix it and get it back onto the road. Plus, there's so much endless mod potential that you can literally do anything you wanted. If you want it faster, you can put a turbo on it. You want it even faster than that, you can put a V8 in it, or rotary swap it, or do whatever swap you would want to do to the car, because there's a lot of space in there. Rotary swap is what I would lean towards. It's kind of like true with the brand, but also, I mean, they're not too reliable, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. But you can do so much stuff with these cars, and them being super light on the bank in terms of repairs and costs of everything, it definitely makes it so appealing. People track these cars, drive them on back roads, whatever you want to do with them. You can drift them, you can lift them and put them off-road. People have done so many things with these cars. The versatility of this car is almost endless, which is another huge reason why everyone wants them, because there's so many different things you could do with them. You can also just leave them stock. It's a good-looking 90s convertible roadster, and you can just leave them stock and drive it around and just, you know, have a bone stock Miata and just enjoy just the convertible life. For someone who doesn't want motorcycles, a convertible is like the perfect balance between a coupe and a motorcycle. So it's definitely that appealing to older people or people who aren't even into cars, because it's just a cool car. On top of that, the Miata community itself is starting to get huge. I mean, over the last 15 years, the Miatas have got so much love, so many people who have, you know, tutorials fixing the cars, forums about modifications, forums about problems they've had with them, and just a huge amount of people who really love this car. A lot of people want the cars, but overall this car is just cheap, fun, and reliable, which is one of the best things you can ask for in a car. The only drawback of this car is the space. You can't drive it in snow, and the power. I mean, all of those things are things to be expected when you're buying the car, but you can always solve the solution for power. You can always put a ski box on top, and you can still drive it in snow, but it's probably gonna rust out in like a year, so if you wanna take that risk, you could do it. There was a lot of these things made, which keeps the prices down, but now they're starting to get harder and harder to find nice examples of, which is kind of why we saw a little bit of a spike along with the rest of the market. I mean, COVID kind of ruined everything, but I don't suspect these cars to ever be $3,000 or $2,000 again. But there's definitely a huge group of people who absolutely love these cars, and it definitely makes sense. It's such a great car for the price. I mean, I bought it because I was like, I could modify my Mustang, or I could just buy another car for like the same amount of money I'm gonna put into mods. Better financial decision overall. Might not seem like it, but mods don't add value to cars. Another car holds value, and especially when they hit bottom depreciation like these cars are near. I mean, there's no going wrong. I can't wait to get this car built, on the track, driven in the summer, and have so much fun with it. But if you guys did enjoy this video, new huge favor, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys are excited for Miata content, let me know in the comment section down below. I've made a lot of Miata videos, and I need to get some of my other cars on the channel. Don't worry, soon enough. I can't wait for summer to come. But that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.